The town of Sea Haven huddled against the coast, a brooding sky pressed down, heavy with unshed rain. The salty air carried a chill even in August. Sea Haven was not a place for sunshine, it was a place for secrets. Dominating the landscape was the Grand Blackwood Hotel. Once grand, now decaying, its windows, like vacant eyes, stared out at the churning sea. Locals whispered of the Blackwood's dark past, of tragedies, disappearances, of a curse. No one dared to stay there anymore, except tonight for Sarah. Sarah, weary from her journey, pulled up to the hotel. Rain began to fall, a fine mist that clung to everything. She shivered, pulling her coat tighter. The hotel loomed above her, imposing and silent. The heavy oak door creaked open as if beckoning her inside. The lobby was dimly lit, the air thick with dust and the scent of damp wood. Behind a chipped counter stood a man, his face lost in shadows. "Welcome," he rasped, his voice as dry as the desert, "to the Grand Blackwood." His words echoed in the silence. A shiver ran down Sarah's spine. She had made a terrible mistake. Her room was on the top floor, at the end of a long, echoing corridor. The wallpaper was stained, the furniture draped in white sheets. The only sound was the wind howling outside. As Sarah unpacked, she heard it, a soft whisper like a breath against her ear. She turned, heart pounding, nothing. She dismissed it as the wind playing tricks, but as the night wore on, the whispers grew louder. They seemed to come from the walls themselves, murmurs of forgotten conversations, of screams lost to time. Sleep, when it finally came, was filled with unsettling dreams. Morning brought no solace. A thick fog had rolled in, blanketing the town in an eerie silence. It seeped into the hotel, wrapping around Sarah's ankles like icy fingers. She decided to explore the hotel, hoping to find some clue to its unsettling atmosphere. In the deserted ballroom, she found a dusty piano. As she touched the keys, a discordant melody filled the air, and then she saw him. A figure standing at the edge of the fog, tall, shrouded in mist, with eyes that seemed to burn through the haze. He was watching her. Section 5. A glimmer in the mist. Terror choked Sarah's breath. She stumbled back, the figure always in her peripheral vision, never approaching, never fading. A name rose unbidden to her lips. The Watcher. She fled, the Watcher's presence a suffocating weight on her back. She ran through the corridors, the fog clinging to her, whispering secrets she couldn't understand. In a dusty alcove, she found a tarnished silver mirror. And in its depths she saw a glimmer of something else, a face not her own, a face contorted in fear, mouthing silent pleas. Section 6, the face in the window. Sarah recoiled from the mirror, her heart pounding against her ribs. The face, she realized, was her own, reflected back at her from some future point in time, a future where she was trapped here. Panicking, she ran to the window. The fog was thicker now, swirling with a malevolent life of its own, and through the swirling grey she saw him again, the Watcher. But this time he wasn't alone. Standing beside him, her face pale and her eyes wide with terror, was Sarah. Section 7. The fog descends. The realization hit Sarah like a physical blow. She wasn't going to escape. She was destined to become another lost soul in the Grand Blackwood, another face in the window, another victim of the Watcher. She banged on the windows, but they wouldn't budge. She screamed, but her voice was swallowed by the fog. It was closing in, suffocating her, drawing her into its embrace. The Watcher smiled, a chilling, triumphant grin that sent shivers down Sarah's spine. He extended a hand, beckoning her into the swirling grey abyss. There was nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The fog seeped into her lungs, cold and damp, replacing her terror with a strange sense of peace. She was no longer afraid. She was resigned to her fate. She looked into the mirror one last time. Her reflection was gone, replaced by the swirling grey mist. She was no longer separate from the hotel, from the fog, from the watcher. They were all one and the same. She was home. The Grand Blackwood Hotel seemed to sigh with contentment as it absorbed Sarah into its being. She was just another tale in its long, dark history, another soul claimed by its insidious embrace. The wind howled a mournful dirge, carrying the scent of salt and decay. The waves crashed against the shore, their rhythm unchanged by the tragedy that had unfolded within the hotel's walls. The fog swirled, satisfied, its hunger sated, for now. No one noticed Sarah's disappearance. No one came looking for her. She was simply gone, swallowed by the fog and the secrets of the Grand Blackwood. Her car remained where she had left it, a silent testament to her fate. The rain washed away her tire tracks, erasing the last evidence of her presence. The fog lingered, a shroud over the town, a constant reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath its surface. The watcher, his purpose fulfilled, receded into the shadows, waiting for his next victim. And so the Grand Blackwood Hotel stood sentinel over the town of Seahaven, its secrets safely guarded, its curse perpetuated. Sarah, once a weary traveller, was now an eternal guest, her soul forever bound to the hotel's sinister legacy. The fog continued to roll in, night after night, obscuring the town in its eerie embrace. And the watcher remained, a silent guardian, ensuring that the cycle of despair would continue, claiming unsuspecting souls for all eternity.